How's it? Today's April 2nd. It's Thursday. And I had an interesting workout today. Just kind of overhead work with a lot of jerks and lots of things related to the jerk. And then I did the winding warm up at the end of my workout, kind of like for accessory like blood flow and overall GPP or general physical preparedness training. So in the future, um, if this does work, it's gonna make it so that my overall workload is gonna be significantly higher than what it was in the past. And in general, like I don't have access to a lot of the same accessories that I would be doing when I was at school. So today's jerk workout was power jerks for three or triples, about 10 to 12 triples. It was the power jerk because my hip issues have been kind of, they're not making it impossible to jerk. It's just Steve doesn't like aggravating the issue, especially if I know it's questionable. So he was like, "Oh, do you think you can do a split?" I was like, "Yeah, I think it should be okay." And he was just like, "Okay, we'll just do power jerks." So, um, 10 triples and go up each set. Um, when I first started warming up, everything didn't feel particularly snappy or particularly powerful. It just kind of moved. Like these didn't look bad. They didn't feel great though. So I ended up getting to like 227 ish. I would have been really happy with 225, so I'm glad I was able to do that. Here I got really lightheaded. I'm not sure what happened. I think I stood in the front rack for too long. Um, so yeah, pretty weird because I didn't feel that at any other weight or set in this entire workout. And then those 2 reps after that lightheadedness were really good. So yeah, I asked about belt, knee sleeves, and wrist wraps, and Steve was saying that he really prefers that I only use those things for really heavy lifts or like to avoid injury. But I'm not gonna be getting injured with these types of weights, especially if I'm just doing power jerks. So no extra equipment. Um, but yeah, right around here is right where it starts getting pretty challenging. I think this one is the one where I think I might have broke a box. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. It leaned really far. So I wanted to make sure everything was okay before I continued, but it seemed like it was okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, Not the easiest. And then I still have to go for that third one. I can hear birds chirping here. Um, That's something I don't really notice. So yeah, here we go. That was maybe the best one of that set. I think for a lot of the sets, um, the technique is like pretty negligibly different, but some of them are different and like some of them are better. Some of them I get to extension for the push. I get to like complete extension for the drive, and then my foot, like my left foot, I can't see my right foot from this angle, but my left foot moves forward in the plane that I'm standing, which is very it's atypical of how I normally power jerk. I kind of just move to the sides. like down, and I move to the side. And then I like to bring both of my feet closer to the middle. I know you don't need to, but it's just kind of a habit that I've developed over. When I split jerk, you obviously have to bring them back to the middle, but I feel weird if I just split power and then leave my feet where they are. You can see there, my foot started in some spot and then ended in front of that spot. Here we go. Yeah, pretty good, to be honest. Looking at it, I remember feeling these sets. They were very challenging during the workout, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to actually go up after this one. There we go. And then I go to, I think, one more. Yeah, this is my last set. So 227. That's because we have pound, bumpers, and then kilo change plates. So that's a 5 kilo in the end. It's not a 10 pound. Ordinarily, this would be 225. But if you watch my foot on that one, it did the exact same thing that I'm talking about, where I start in a spot and then I push forward and then it moves forward. And then it kind of fixes itself for this rep. And then also, I believe the last rep, I kind of, it's kind of a soft lockout, but it still does look like a jerk, and I don't think I would red light it. But it doesn't look like the other ones. There we go. From there, I did jerk dips, tempo jerk dips. So I know it says 3-1, 3-1. It's supposed to be a 3-second descent, a 1-second pause, a 3-second ascent, and then a 1-second pause at the top. I was dipping way too low during most of these sets. I think the last set was the last one that I didn't touch the blocks. But the weights were roughly about 20% up from what I was jerking. So if I jerk 227, which is like 103, 102, 103. If I go roughly 20% up, this is 267 here. It's like 121, something like that. So that's roughly 20% up. A lot of these, I try to maintain proper rack position, but you can see that I'm kind of curling over like it's like a front squat. So I tried to adjust here, and then I try to push up and keep it like as if I were about to jerk, but as it gets heavier, I can't really breathe. So what ends up happening is my shoulders start to curl forward. That was a pretty good height, but tempo is off. Tempo is off on that one as well. I didn't quite hit 3-1, 3-1 for any of them. I think the last one was more close to like 2-1, 2-1, maybe 2-1, 2-2, something like that. Here we go. Oh, I just touched there. So that upper back problem that I've been having for forever was giving me some issues here too. It's kind of weird. It was only when I tried to catch my breath. This is the best rack position I think I had. This is my last set. So this is the only one where I get good height. All the other ones are much too low. This is more indicative of how my jerk dip is actually. And I have a very solid pause. The tempo down is just a little too fast. Here we go. And then I move into the front rack holds. So another 20% up from what I do on the jerk dips. So if I do 267, that's like 121, 122. I know 20% up of that would be 142-ish. So we don't really have a way to load that. So I just load the next closest thing we have. So these are supposed to be 5-second holds at the top. and I just do 2 per set, and I do 3 sets. Counting is really hard, so I think I was counting to probably 6 or 7 in my head. But here you go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it was a little bit over 5, and then I got my final one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, barely made it. And then I had to do some dips. Got creative here. Did 50 total dips across 2 sets, so 2 sets of 25. I took the top off of the blocks so that my wrists didn't get destroyed from being on a flat surface. Kind of, I was able to give my hand a neutral grip here. If it were a little bit higher, it would be a lot nicer, so I don't have to curl my knees down or curl my knees back. But I liked how that turned out. And then here is the winning warm up. I'm probably gonna call it like the Rogers cool down, maybe, I don't know. But it's basically you choose 3 exercises that are really light, really like accessory exercises that would activate the muscles that you kind of worked that day. So first exercise for me is going to be the behind the neck overhead press. Sorry about the camera work there. Behind the neck overhead press. So it's between 15 and 25 reps per set. So I don't think I can do a set of 25 comfortably for the behind the neck press. And then you move immediately into the belt squat. I probably could have done this for 25, but because I did 15 only on the overhead press, I wanted to keep it the same rep, so I don't have to remember like when I count to count differently. And then after that, I do some good mornings. So same rep scheme for 15 reps, and then I do this whole circuit for 4 rounds. It's only the first day I did it, but the whole point's not to be gassed at the end. The point is to kind of just get some blood flowing, use it as a recovery. Steve is thinking about adding these on the day after you worked on a heavy body part, so that it gives you the actual day when you would need the recovery. It gives you the time for that recovery. He's not sure about how it will implement, but now's a better time than any to try it, considering the whole like COVID situation. Yeah, that'll be all for today.